Testing, testing. Value number 1, click. Value number 2, click, click. This is the sound of value consumption and the necessity to be able to start to focus on import and export trade around the whole world and figuring out what the tariff equations are from one border to another to be able to try to get a leapfrog forward functional mindset towards the finance structure of how to go forward in the future as we're trying to make trades and also at the same time combine marketing and investing. We're trying to focus on the border crossing, exporting and importing of goods. And so focusing on the analysis of connecting the connection of first the demand hose and second the connection of the supply hose, we need to also be able to factor in the equation of the cross-border equation of the analysis to be able to also make more flow happen around the world, cross global flow and be part of the energy expansion flowing process from one border to another so that all of the energy is able to be fluidly able to find a pathway across one border to another so that every border has the ability to be able to receive the energy that we're trying to give it, and we are able to make a path that's fluid with the money energy, that with the energy of money that has a fluid, considerable, consumable consumption process that is like a tunnel that has the ability for electricity to be able to flow. And today there's a whole lot of energy consumption conceptualizations in terms of differing partnerships around the world that have to do with certain partnerships that have also been long-standing in the past, like Divergent 3D, which is a company that has composite development processes that is now working for the national government for the United States. And in essence, back like maybe 4 or 5 or 7 even years ago, they were developing cars that were very unique by developing a carbon fiber composite, and they made a significantly light, like maybe 1,200 horsepower car that weighed almost about 1,200 pounds. So it was a significant accomplishment and achievement, and also it was a hydrogen-powered car. It was a hydrogen-powered engine car, so it was a significant accomplishment. It's almost like very little weight. That's just very little weight with a whole lot of power to weight ratio. And so this type of company, as well as a different company called Vittori. Vittori is a different company that's also trying to innovate and develop a $2 million car, which is significant, I guess you could say. But at the same time, they're getting a little bit in front of themselves, I believe. But at the same time, they're trying to then move into aerospace and develop planes at the same time. So they have this ambitious long track record, or long flow in front of them in terms of a floating ambition process that they're following bit by bit. But at the same time, we're talking about energy being able to flow and flow forward by being able to focus on import and export trade in the future, by being able to connect hoses from one side to another, by developing study across one border to another to be able to have goods flow from one place to another, almost as like an experiment to be able to trade goods from one border to another, across one border to another, to be able to develop trade lines, which are valuable trade lines, which are energy flow lines, in essence, energy flow lines based on the back end of trade lines. So we want to develop almost like digging a tunnel, in essence, all throughout the world. We're trying to dig a tunnel through the essence of trade and developing trade partnerships by testing the borders and the border back and forth, trade, import and export processes and the tariffs and the calculations back and forth, right? By helping to be able to do global analysis, by doing testing back and forth across borders and partnerships that also are testing the differing gravity and the weight and the fluidity of each partnership to be able to test if we're able to calculate an efficient, ambitious back and forth partnership throughout the whole globe to be able to develop tunnels from one border to another, to be able to make consistent pipelines that are fluid among trade lines from one day to the next, to be able to then therefore be able to facilitate the energy expansion and in the energy trade, participate in the energy trade process in the whole world, which is a volatile market. The energy trading process is an asset, not as a commodity, but we're trying to look forward into the asset and asset trading commodity of energy so that ultimately we're able to test the borders and be able to develop demand to supply pipelines of flow of differing products from one country to another. And that's part of the reason why we're trying to go to Asia in the next month or two type of situation to begin with. But we might start in Hawaii. We're going to have to keep you posted on these things. But at the same time, we're trying to be able to unfold some of these energies, because at the same time, we're watching a lot of content today in terms of free energy. There's free energy in the world, like there's free electricity in the air, for example. And Nikola Tesla, for example, had a free energy machine that he visualized back in the day, and he even got a patent for it in the past. But at the same time, someone in Africa has coined also a machine to be able to pull energy from the air. And at the same time, there's differing companies and different brands, and there's also someone in Zimbabwe who did this something similar, and he made a full-on generator. But so these energy generation processes need to come together and need to leak together across borders and across different places, so that they're not kept and gate-kept from one government to another for no good reason, when in essence it's meant to be a global trade. We are all energy. We are meant to share all of our energy in the global philanthropy energy grid. We're talking about also today, Tesla was able to innovate their brand new innovation and had a live forum today where they were expressing the expansion of their live ability to be able to expand energy across the whole world. And they have a plug-and-play system where now they have generators more or less for the whole world to be able to continue to power a global electricity grid, a global electricity grid. So we're all talking about power, we're all talking about electricity, we're all talking about the same thing, but we're trying to, as Dinky Tech and Chase Game Studios, we're trying to power the global philanthropy energy grid, where everybody's powering the global philanthropy energy grid of electricity by powering the instance of using spiritual finance to leverage the tunnels within the underground of all of the world to be able to transition monetary energy into philanthropy energy, so all human beings are able to connect through the pipeline of entrepreneurship directly into good-natured actions, which are able to power the whole world through continuous actions that are continually able to continually make influence through different partnerships that are also just like the different testing of different goods and services that are sold from one country to another. And we're testing the analysis of the global recalculation and reprogramming of the global equation, which we're trying to develop for the global philanthropy energy grid to be able to make energy flow. And at the same time, there is a saying where, in essence, it's that quitters are do not win, and at the same time, people who do not quit are geniuses. So at the same time, it's necessary to be able to develop a mindset that's like electricity. At the same time, a mindset that's like electricity, meaning a process within all people that they don't want to quit, and even that is a journey in of themselves. That's where the electricity is able to flow in the energetic sense within all people, within the mindset of all people, so that their internal electricity is able to flow into a process that they do not want to quit. And that is a process that has to do with also a market on the back end of that. So it means they're solving a problem at the back end of that. So it means they have to develop an action on the front end that they want to recur every day, that they want to do every day, a process that they want to continue to recur every day. And that in of itself, to not quit that process, that's like electricity, that's like recurring energy, that's like recurring energy flow. And that adds to the global philanthropy energy grid. And that stems from people and people's mentality and people's mind. And being able to go from the mentality into the global philanthropy energy grid combines the essence of monetary energy and people energy, human energy, marketing energy, mindset energy, human electricity, in essence, to be able to then go directly into the global power grid, the global philanthropy energy grid. And that in essence also has to do with developing a process that has to do with day-to-day not giving up, which makes everybody a genius, because everybody's capable of developing a process. So every day they want to accomplish it to be able to try to expand on their entrepreneurship self. But it also speaks to being able to solve a problem, because there's so many problems in the world that everybody's able to pick up a shovel and be able to participating by covering the holes of those problems one person at a time, in essence. And that in essence, those two things combined, being able to leverage a process that's repeatable day to day, is a difficult process in of itself. To find that process inside and internally for every human being. So that in of itself is a journey to then speak to the specific problem that they want to do and become more or less, in quotes, geniuses. That's what the math sorcerer calls them. But at the same time, quitters never win, meaning it just has to be about cyclical, repeatable action that speaks to problems, in essence. Like we're trying to, every day, to speak to the problem of the global philanthropy energy grid and trying to solve and patch the whole of the global philanthropy energy grid one day at a time. But in essence, it takes the shovels of all 8 billion people on the planet to be able to continue to spread the energy all around the world. Like Tesla, as a company, is trying to build these new generators. They've released these new generators to start to power actual electricity around the world, to start to power for artificial intelligence in the future, and the actual power consumption demand that is in demand, that is needing to be met by other people and other companies in the world, being able to also pick up shovels to be able to try to meet this demand, to be able to do the best good for the world and be able to optimize the necessary demand that's necessary to be able to continue to unfold artificial intelligence, to be able to try to optimize our planet. From an apparent sense, from Tesla's perspective, Tesla is somewhat the leader these days. Tesla's stock has just raised I think it was 40% or something in a couple days. It was significant. And anyways, nonetheless, we're still trying to focus on partnerships around the world. that in essence are able to help us reflect on our greater potential as well as Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios as we continue to try to help the energy flow by testing trade lines across one border to another. We have to test each individual border trade by doing small transactions to begin with and then developing larger pipelines based around that and getting practice with larger pipeline transactions and such things. And we're starting that from within the US and starting to then branch to Asia, but at the same time we might have to stop in Hawaii. It depends on the contingency of our monetary energy to be able to flow and float the process one day at a time. But at the same time, we have all these inspirations each day, like the ability to do telekinesis, like the ability to make energy and pull electricity from the air, and telekinesis, and witchcraftery blended sciences with specific existing 3D printing processes and engines and new fabrics of new materials being able to come from the energy of human beings in essence to be able to transpose with existing energies that are in material items because we're all connected, the materials and human energy in essence, to be able to then focus on finding communal energy because we're most strong when we're communal energy and we're trying to tie the global chain of the consistent communal electrical energy across the whole world. And it has to do with not only partnerships, but gravity in an external sense. We're trying to reach gravity and spread out magnetism energy into other countries in the world at the current time as we're continuing to try to distribute this type of content. And this is a foundational strategy for cash flow to hope to develop communal strategies as we continue to try to do some initial investments and start initial hedge fund energy in the next basically coming days or weeks in addition to having some income, leveraging our energy. And also trading some time for money as well and monetary energy as well to be able to repurpose that into the global philanthropy energy grid. But starting with communal investments like with a community, like unbrokeninvesting.com, for example, to be able to try to kick off some of that monetary energy to be able to spin and continue to add value to the global philanthropy energy grid. But we're trying to speak to every human in every country in the world to be able to then try to leverage communal processes to withdraw a specific recurring monetary physical energy like electricity energy process that's repeatable on a day-to-day basis for everybody to be able to find that recurring spinning process that's cyclical and cyclable that is able to solve a specific problem, because that in of itself is a journey. It's a core journey to be able to find that process for within all people to be able to just pull that out. So it's something that they can practice every day, just like this podcast. We're trying to practice it in essence every day so that in essence everybody has that ability to be able to just call upon a recurring process to be able to speak to a specific problem in the world. And every day more philanthropy energy will be shoveled into the global philanthropy energy grid, just like Tesla is trying to add all this electricity to the global electricity grid. All right, thanks again for now. Bye, Dinky Tech. Bye, peace. Bye, Dinky Tech Change for Games. Peace. Bye, peace. Dinky Tech Change for Game Studios. Bye.